It's time for Inside the Patch with your Las Vegas Raiders. Here's Gnarley Charley.
Well, the man that is in the know, because it's his name, it's Brian No. And Brian, wow, we've got the W against the Patriots. I'm sure you saw all that was planned out. You knew it was going to happen just like that. What? Just tell me, did you get to see it live or did you see the replay?
No, I saw it live, and I could not believe it at all. Of all teams to do something stupid like that, the Patriots are the last team I would have expected to do that. They're well prepared. They're all about situational awareness and being on top of what's stupid and what's smart and all. And they did that. That was, I will never believe that happened, but it did.
Yeah. I gotta say, I mean, you always say I'm positive, but I let it go. I just said, we did it again. We blew it. This game's over. This game's over. There's no way Belichick's going to make a dumb mistake. I said, there's no way Belichick's going to let him pitch. No, I didn't say that. But I was like, but then when we got the ball back, all of a sudden, hey, we got a shot here. We got a shot here. And then the 45-minute delay as they tried to see if the foot was in bounds. Oh, my God.
That was crazy.
That was brutal.
Yeah, and I think he was out of bounds, but it wasn't conclusive. You can argue that it wasn't conclusive. My question is, how do you not have a sideline camera? How do you not have a sideline view? Because I think he was out, but I can't tell you for sure it was conclusive. And if that's the standard, then I think they did the right thing by letting it stand. I think that's garbage. If you wanted to dive into that, I think it's silly to have 100% beyond a shadow of a doubt proof. If I can look at the replay and make a better argument that it's more likely than not that the guy was out of bounds or that guy fumbled or whatever, like, I don't know why it has to be 100%, but that's what they're going by. And I didn't think the replay was 100%.
Did you see the edge of his shoes, though? The color? His shoes were like a killer whale. They were black and white. And so it kind of was deceiving if you look up at close up of his shoe, because I believe there was a white rim around the outside, which kind of might have been it saved him. I think I really do.
I love the still shots that come out after any game.
Oh yeah,
and it's like, wow, he kind of looks in. Wait a minute, the Twitter handle is Raider Run 5739, or you know what I mean? Like,
right.
There's the next tweet where it's like, hey, it looks like he's out of bounds. It's Patriot Jimmy fan or whatever. You know what I mean? Like, it's so funny how the still shots are totally different.
Well, it reminds me of that episode of the Brady Bunch where, thank goodness, someone was taking a picture of Marshall on the sidelines and caught the guy's feet in bounds. And they overturned the game, and the game was saved. I don't know if you'd have to look it up. It was so lame. It was like, wait a minute, let's blow that up. And all you can see is feet. There's no way you could take that picture as proof to anything. But that was before pranks, so no one would do that.
Yeah. That was kind of like the same technology on Sunday. I don't think anything's changed from the Brady Bunch. If that's the view that we had, come on, get a sideline view. Goodness.
Right. Well, maybe they do have one, but it's Vegas. And maybe they're quick to turn them off real quick,
That's right. Yeah, that's right. It's there was a sideline view, but he's in a back room with Robert De Niro, like getting his hand hit by a hammer or something. You know what I mean? Like that happened at first.
Oh yeah.
The video vanished into thin air.
Well, I have two theories too. I bet there are Raider fans that missed the ending because they broke their TV. And then I think there are many, many Samsung and Sony televisions that were spared. Their life was spared because they were going to be broke. They were going to be broke till Chandler Jones saved the day. I don't know what the number would be. There were going to be broken electronics throughout the world.
Imagine if, because it was pretty dicey there for the silver and black. They were not moving the ball. The lead fell apart. They're playing from behind. I imagine if somebody broke their TV, but it was still slightly functional. It was still working. And, like, you've got Chandler Jones, like, on the left side of the crack in the screen.
In a different color.
And then he's kind of, like, levitating as he runs and bowls over Mac Jones. And then he's on the right side of the crack, and you're like, what's happening? I would imagine there's probably one person where that was exactly what happened for them.
Oh, my God. I was just like, unbelievable. Unbelievable. And I was stunned. I did, okay. And I don't really like to drink, like, Crown Royal hard whiskey during a game. I'm a beer, And I, at halftime, I go, you know what? I'm going to drink a shot every time we do something decent. And I'm like, and I don't even like the taste of it. And I'm doing shots. And my fiance's looking at me like, you're drunk. And I go, I don't know, but it's working. It's working.
You were stone cold sober in the fourth quarter until the very end. And then it just
lost everything. Seriously, feeling good. And that's the thing. It's like when you're a Raider fan, 14 points is no time to relax. There is no like, oh, we got this ever. We left 12 seconds on the board. Shoot, they'll score twice. I mean, it's just that crazy. And I'm like, I just find it's unbelievable. Unbelievable.
We always talk about when you went into a blind rage in your high school football playing days and chucked your helmet. Like, just think about this. Break this down for a second. The last two Raider games, which was a worse beat if you were gambling and you had a lot of money on the outcome of the game? Was it the Raiders having a 16-3 lead against Baker Mayfield, who was there for 2 days with the Rams, and he leads 2 touchdown drives, the final drive 98 yards away, and you had all those penalties and all that? Was that worse if you were on the Raiders to win 2 weeks ago? Or was it worse to be betting the Patriots and you've got a 24-17 lead? It looks like Cole is probably out of bounds. It's ruled a touchdown. And then you have Jacoby Myers losing his mind, throwing the ball backwards to Mac Jones, as if what's Mac going to do? He's going to run for like 55-plus to the end zone. It wouldn't even have worked if he caught it. And Chandler Jones scores the winning touchdown. Which is worse?
I gotta say, for a betting person, both are just horrendous. Just horrendous. No one sees it coming. And there's that moment that you think, oh, I've got this. And yet they both happen at the end. We're like, are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? But as a Raider fan, I think the Rams loss to me was worse because did that just I was like, what just happened? It was like, boom, boom, boom.
I would say, yeah. I mean, you could make an argument on both sides.
Yeah.
I think the worst beat was what we just saw. The Chandler Jones touchdown and just that play. That's like NFL lore. We'll switch back to that 20 years from now. Like, you're always going to remember that. I think that if I had a ton of money on the Patriots in that game and Cole scores, looks like he's out of bounds, and then Myers and Chandler Jones, oh my gosh, I would have no hair left. I would have ripped all of it out.
Well, what's the incident going to be called? Is it Jones on Jones crime? Is it? That's
the thing. It needs a name. I don't know what the name is going to be.
They're going to have one
a name.
The something in Vegas. The I don't know. The reverse tuck. The tuck revenge. I don't.
Yeah.
They'll come up with something. I was just.
Yeah, I don't know, because it's like I start thinking about what happens in Vegas, and it's too wordy. And then it's got to be quick. It's got to be short, sweet, to the point. I don't know, but we got to come up with something for that.
Because it's like, where's the Stanford band? Or, I mean, it's almost like it was that crazy. Like, that really happened. That really happened.
Yeah.
And I was like, whoa.
Can't believe it, man. It was a tie game. It was a tie game, and they were acting like that was their last chance. Crazy.
You ever been on a field, though, playing sports, and all of a sudden, it's not part of the game plan, but one guy starts doing something, you go, oh, I guess we're doing that. It's like the team's like, oh, I guess we'll do a pitch play since that's what's going down. And you get caught up in the moment. And if anybody had any brains, they would have just laid down. I remember Gnarley was good at, he wouldn't score, he would take a knee. He didn't care about the stats. Like there were situations where he could have scored. No, I'm just going to down it at the one and help the team out. And when all of a sudden the pitch was on, well, everybody just lost their mind and said, oh, I guess we're doing that. That's what we're doing. We're doing the old pitch play. I want to get on ESPN. And then why would you throw it to the quarterback? He can't throw a forward pass. That's the worst
I don't
guy.
know. But I think you're onto something. When Stevenson pitched it to Myers, I think Myers did exactly what you're talking about. It's we're doing this. We must have to score here. Yeah.
Well, and it kind of seemed like they kind of had a shot. They were almost in the field goal range, but there was no time. The time was gone, right? And then, or no.
Yeah,
if he would have downed it, there would have been time, but it would have been a long field goal.
No, there was no time.
There was no time.
Well expired. Yeah.
So it's not the Music City
Which makes
Miracle.
it even worse. It makes it even worse to do what they did. It makes it way worse.
Yeah. I was like, what the heck is going on here? And Belichick, what do you think? I'm surprised he did not spontaneous combust. I mean, or just drop to a heart attack. I mean,
yeah, he wasn't happy about that. And that's the other thing is this might cost him a playoff berth. It might cost him a playoff spot with what they did against the Raiders. Did you see Jacoby, though? Jacoby just said, took credit. He did not try to blame anybody. He did not say that we worked on that in practice. He just fell on the sword. Yeah, that's the only move he really could have made. And I give him credit for at least facing the music. There are some people that would have dodged all the questions, and he owned it. So I respect that. But, man, you just can't make that mistake to begin with. All right, so let's move forward. Now that there's 3 games left. If it was 1974, this would be awesome. Steelers, Raiders, here we go. But, we're both – I think the Raiders are trending up a little bit more than Steelers right now. But, it's, like I said, our season's over if we lose. It goes to draft choices. Yeah. So Steelers looked pretty good last week against Carolina. I know it's the Panthers. But Najee Harris has played pretty well. Scored a bunch of touchdowns the last 5 weeks. And you get Kenny Pickett back. So, not going to be the easiest game, but I think it's what's kind of like the Spider-Man meme, where Spider-Man's pointing at the other Spider-Man. Yeah. Kind of what we have with the Raiders and the Steelers right now. Very comparable in terms of wins and losses and nice wins and horrible defeats. Very similar with those two squads this year. Well, and don't forget, it's the 50th anniversary of the Immaculate Reception, and they are retiring Franco Harris's number on the 50th anniversary against the Raiders because it's the anniversary of it, and that's going to be a big thing. And I don't know if that's going to affect the players now because they don't even probably know what it is, But yeah, oh no, yeah, but that's a cool gesture. That's the weird thing too is which is greater for you? Is it you being a fan of your team, or is it you being a fan of football and the NFL as a whole? Because you as a diehard Raider fan, can you still see, even though you might not shed a tear when this is going down, but is the football fan greater when they're honoring Franco Harris and the nostalgia of what happened with the Immaculate Reception, even though the Raiders were on the wrong end of that thing? Hey, I can respect him as a player and as a competitor. I wish no harm on his family. And you know what? It is what it is. Now, me and Joe Green, I would have took that Coke from him and his jersey. That was this commercial in the 70s where, first off, a player should not be chugging a Coke between games, And then he throws his jersey and it was like, whoa. I was like, I don't know. Well, who is the player and who's the team that you hate the most?
That I hate the most?
Yeah.
It might have to be the Broncos, and it's not really Elway. It was more Shannon Sharp. I didn't like it.
Really? Yeah.
Because he would just gloat, and he was a horrible winner. And I was at that game. Winner goes to the Super Bowl, and Raiders are winning, and Shannon runs for 85 yards to just sink the Raiders. Just boom, we're done. And it was like, oh, Metallica had just played in the parking lot at the Coliseum. It was just so Raider perfect and Raider all the way. And it just like, oh. But I don't know. I mean, the more I learn about this, it's a business. It's not personal. I do know this, that the eve of 9/11, Ed McCaffrey broke his leg on whatever that game that was. Broke his leg. And I was like, ha, ha, ha. And then the next day,
really?
after 9/11, I went, he's an American, and I shouldn't be like that. And I was in the word 9/11. I feel bad for making fun of Ed McCaffrey. I remember that. How dumb is that, though?
Wow. Wow, man, you're laughing at a broken leg. Where's the positive, happy-go-lucky, wearing a Santa Claus hat, gnarly that I know?
I think I had to change. I think it's because of those things that changed me to the gnarly that I am today. I had to grow up a little bit. So, Christmas Eve, 8 o'clock, Raiders are playing. Do we not open the presents? Do we wait? Is that the present? How do we do this? Is Santa waiting there? I'm not delivering till the game's over.
Yeah. Yeah. I always go Christmas Day. I've never been a Christmas Eve guy. We've never been a Christmas Eve family. You? Have you been Christmas Eve or Christmas Day?
It's different families. So sometimes my mom decided we'd do Christmas Eve. But Christmas Day was when you got the good stuff, Mm-hmm. Yeah, like pajamas and socks on Christmas Eve. But the Steve Austin and the Nerf football, that's coming on, that's Christmas morning.
What's one of your Christmas traditions?
Well, they've changed, Since I lost my dad, the family's changed. The structure changes. So I find ourselves celebrating just when we can. And I notice now, as the kids are older, everybody's older, the presents don't matter at all. It's that time together, And I always tell people, because there's a whole young batch of people that I'm having Christmas with now, and I'm like going, all right, you need to start making some traditions so we have something. Because mine have kind of moved away, One of them now is to talk to Brian Noe about the Raiders and hopefully get a win. That's a new one. So
there you go. That's a brand new Christmas tradition right there. That's a good one.
How about you? What are you doing? Are you home? Are you going?
Yeah, back in Indiana for the holidays, but it's like I almost always come home for Christmas wherever I'm living, and I've lived a lot of different places. I'll typically be home for Christmas. There are a couple of occasions where that didn't happen. Almost always happens I make it back for Christmas. And one of the traditions that's gone on for a long time, my dad will always, since I was a little kid, get me a box of cherry chocolates. He's done for decades. He'll sometimes get me 2-4 boxes of those things, but I'll at least get 1 box of cherry chocolates from my dad.
See, I love stuff like that, So life is good, man. I'm excited. So what do you think for the game? How do you see this shaking out?
Raiders 77, Steelers 3 is my
that's weird.
I call that.
I was going to go Raiders 77, Steelers 2. So
okay.
I'm right there. I'm close to you. So yeah, you've got a little slight advantage, but we'll see.
Which would be better? Would it be better to win while giving up only a field goal, or to win while only giving up a safety? Seriously,
safety.
What would it be?
Yeah. How about we blocked a punt too? I thought that was great, but it was
Because the safety's harder to get, you know?
Dude, it's crazy. You know, there's a little boy that was brought to a manger. And then, I never understood this, though. If you've got a baby wrapped in swaddling clothes and you just get him to sleep, and then some kids out there with a drum banging it, I'm like, hey, save your sleeping, drummer boy. Can you just chill? We don't need this kind of stuff. So.
Yeah, definitely don't need that. Too much racket. Trying to catch some sleep.
All right. Brian, no. Merry Christmas. I'll see you next week. Hopefully, with another W. All right?
There you go. Speak it into existence. Merry Christmas to you, Gnarly. Raiders 77. Steelers 2. I'm going to go with yours.
That is the dumbest spread ever.
Raiders minus 74.5. Lay the points.
And now someone out there's hoping they have 7 and 2 for their numbers. The worst poker hand in America. So I love it. Brian, thank you so much, brother. Love you, man. Merry Christmas.
Love you too, man. Merry Christmas, Gnarly.
We'll be back with more Inside the Patch on 1430 ESPN, your official home of the Las Vegas Raiders.